What a hashtag good problem that I grew out of that display case, the temporary one, and had to get a permanent one. I seen quite a few. This one I liked, but it was too plain. I just had a vision of something that would work better for me. I seen this one like 3 or 4 different times. No, more than that. It was over a 3 or 4 week period. And finally I took a good look at it. And I realized it's separated. One piece had the back that was a mess like this. Did not want to deal with that. The price was right. And as it turned out, they were both on wheels. I wheeled this one away and started to like it a whole lot more than I had for the past few weeks. As you can tell, it went to our home, and here it is and ready to go. Size-wise, this is a mess of a corner right now. There's the temporary one on the right, and it almost seemed like the area of the 2 glass things, I got, boom, right there, surrounded by storage. Now, I didn't expect something like this to work for me, but as I kind of lived and played in that particular one on the right, this kind of came together. This is going to work. Look at all that storage space right there, and I do measurements and all that stuff later, and it works out, obviously. There's a light behind there. The biggest problem was on this left-hand long door. I will show you right here. It had these pull-outs, which must have held CDs or something, DVDs, video things. That was the thing from day one that stumped me. And that's really funny because I had that same problem with the Monster High dollhouse, and those ended up being all the narrow bedrooms. So I'm glad I kind of rethought it. And it's just high time to pull that stuff out and think about it. I knew I'd come up with something. I knew I could come up with some shelves, but I thought I need a visual here to really get this. But somehow this has to work, but let me pull this out. As dumb as it is, it's a job. And here is everything pulled out. It was a little fussing back and forth, and sometimes I had to yank to get things out. Oh yeah, I guess I did figure out that I was going to use some shelves and how to sort them out. So I got my little hammer out and my little pliers and proceeded to pull as needed. That was probably the hardest part of the job. I banged my fingers so many times. So this is a little bit long, but I think, oh wait, Alex is doing some work. Let's see what he has to say. Show that light bulb that came off so we can show our, yeah, your teeth are looking really stop that. Okay, can you do what I need to do? Stop it. Okay, that was that. All right, now he and he keeps looking, and he's getting it off. And now we gotta get that stuff off too. We got tools. I'm doing the better job over here. He needs to be kicked in the.
Sucks.
He ain't talking to you. Ain't no one talking to you. As you can see, we like to joke a lot, and he didn't have faith in me that this was going to look good, but I think I showed him in the end. I like video of you doing stuff. You work it, baby. Ta-da! Well, Mr. Bust My Chops happily got those lights out, and now it's time for me to start cleaning and vacuuming. This is a good thing. It always lets me know what the piece is about, and I think I've repeated this before. I get to know it. Something I really liked about this was also the curved edges. It wasn't like sharp, and I felt like it matched the other one. So having both of these in the living room eventually, they're going to kind of look like they go together. So washing is very important, and this is long. Before I got interrupted, I was saying this is long, but I just want you to at least take from this before you fast forward and skip it all, that think outside the box. Always think outside the box. Okay, so I love my visuals, and I got my newest dolly at the time out, and I started placing her in. This will also give you some things to see and look forward to. I just wanted to see, hey, how can I fit these fashion boxes in here? How many can I exactly fit in before I paint? And you need curing time after paint. So that was the top shelf. This is the bottom shelves. I got a lot to work with, which is fantastic. Unfortunately, I knew I was going to have a paint a lot and it was going to be hard. I finally had to accept that and embrace it. So at this point, I got it all cleaned up. I'm now figuring out how can I make, there's a shelf there, what can I do? So here I am embracing. I had to go buy some more of my favorite primer, of course. You can buy it by the gallons, but I use it so few and far between. Quarts is good. I did have to splurge and buy a whole quart of the proper color that I wanted for the inside, as much as I try to use what I have. This needed something nice. I liked the interior of the other one with the black and then the white on the outside, so I'm going to repeat that. Always handy to have some more of these. I did not end up using the foam rollers. I ended up using regular ones. Just didn't work so much. Then I needed some new hardware because this one was actually busted, and I therefore had to get some new stuff. Again, that's what I was saying. When I was cleaning, this gave me a good chance to look at it all and see what I need and how does it work and what I need to fix. Noticing that this door does not shut very well. It didn't have a magnet, so I'm going to add one, and I bought one right there for that. What else? Oh yes, it had to have a beautiful knob. I felt like that would be the crown jewel of something so classy. It just needed that, and that was the one I picked. I contemplated other ones, but didn't go for it. Did not expect this. I knew I wanted better lights than I had before, which is better for the doll. This is motion activated. It usually goes under cupboards, and I was gonna wait for lighting for later, but you will see, look at this sale. $40 lights on sale for $10. They had 2 left, and I grabbed them fast. And those are awesome. So here's my primer once again. Why did I jump back here? Not sure. Who knows? I'll figure it out here. Okay, well, I guess that was it. Another part of this piece that I seen that was handy too was I knew I could get the glass out easily. Look at the doggy sleeping in there, and then over there you can see where I ended up putting the temporary one back there. We're going to use that for the family dolls. So anyway, I can get the glass off easy. That was another plus to this piece. My next little challenge was how do I fix these holes that would have ran wires through from that light, and there's one down underneath where there would have been wires for a DVD player or whatever. So I have some paper I just cut and covered it. Well, I guess I didn't show that. Maybe I did. I put glue on the back of it. Okay, this is a little messed up. So here's a view. It's a little tilted, but it's finally, you can see the before, and then now here you can see the after with just the primer. It took forever. I hate doing this work, but I love the results. The wheels again were fantastic because I got to roll it in the middle of the living room during the day and then roll it out of the way, and I look forward to dusting it. But that primer alone just changed the complete look of this unit, and I am so happy. And look at the one behind it too. They really look like they're meant to be together. Now if only I can find a little one for the actual place we actually need our DVD player and stuff like that. That would be cool. The inside, I got a little bit more work to do in here, but I got it started. I don't know if I sanded it at this point or I was going to sand it later, but that's something I want to make it so I don't scrape my hands. Had to be very careful. Now you should know me by now to know I gotta have a little glitter, right? A little bling. So these are some of the colors I got. Of course, you know I use my gray as a primer coat to build up the color because black is always hard to cover white and vice versa. So I thought that this, since it's an offset kind of look in the display area, I just want to enhance it a little bit and I don't know, just change it. It just felt right. There's my little spots that I covered with a piece of paper and glue, regular glue, and then put the hot glue behind it if I didn't explain that good enough. Here I have to patiently wait for Alex to help me. I've decided where I want the shelves and got the piece of wood, so he's going to help me with that and when he can. Here's the colors I chose for this bit of trim. It was nicer and I thought easier for me to do this first and then cut in after with my white and make it really neat. I have that left over from before and I use it on the other display unit, so I just got all the more merrier left, so that's wonderful. Having had my base coat, I'm now going to put many coats of glitter all over that so it sparkles and sparkles and just draws more attention to the area I want it to and just adds that pizzazz for some pizzazz kind of dolls, right? Here, what am I saying here? I don't know what I'm showing there. Maybe I'll figure it out after. Okay, well at this point, Alex finally made me a shelf. Not finally, he obviously have to go around his schedule. He always tries to help as soon as he can. Not the prettiest thing, but hey, this is a storage area. At some point I wasn't even going to paint in here, but in the end, my OCD won out. So I'm using the caulking, and I'm gonna fill in the edges so that A, holds it in like a glue, and B, just makes it look a little more built in and just a little neater and cleaner. I put extra white on the top there because you know the inside is gonna be black, but I'm gonna go back to that white ceiling part just like I did on the other. Same idea with the decor. I don't want it to be like a display case. I want it to be like a room and have some pizzazz. Oh, you can see my glitter going on here. The multicolored I ended up going with in there, and I'm glad I did instead of just the silver and black. It definitely added to it. And I also want to, well, I don't really seem to be talking about that right now, but I'm gonna fix up those handles too. Oh, I'm painting over here. I'm doing shelves, I'm doing the inside. I am just rolling with my paint. And here at this point, I'm just giving you an overview of where I'm at. I've done primer, I've done some coats. I did not note how many I am, but as you can see, it's still a little light, and I'm just not giving up. I want to make this look the best I can, so I think I end up with about 3, maybe even 4 coats at some point. In here is looking really good, really solid, and good coverage. I did end up putting some caulking as well right there in that crack. It wasn't as neat for me, and making a line, I wanted that to be good. The caulking is dry in here, so that all dries clear. Once I paint that, of course, you know, if you know me and my caulking, it's gonna paint up and look really good. So I had forgotten to say that in the beginning here, I was doubling up and tripling up my paint thick because I knew I had to mask this specific area, and that is what I've done. So I've been letting that dry, and I can mask on that area and this area up here so that I can do the black paint and make my line nice and crisp. Again, we got these overhangs in all these shelves, which makes it really, really good. And I've done many coats on my shelf. So here's my masking. A quick tip that I'll give the quicks on here is to really push it down. You get this painter's tape, it's called. Some are thicker than others. People put it on and think it's easy and forget about it. You do have to take the time to press it all down. I like my little folds so I can rip it off easy after. Get your finger in there and really make a good seal the best you can. It's never perfect, but if you don't put the extra effort, you're gonna have a sloppy line. I don't want a sloppy line. I can go back and touch it up, but who wants to do that if you don't have to? So now I'm getting to play with the black paint inside. I've got some coats going on here where my mask mark is. The rest is all paintable. Now, I obviously did the white very thick on the ceiling, and now I need to cut. I'm not keeping the ceiling white here. It's also going to be completely black inside, but I wanted to take a minute to show you how to do a cut line very quickly, and I'm not going to show every step. I think I'm going to do that in a separate video, which I will tag here quickly or put in the description, but I do want to show you the fast how easy it actually is, and this applies both in your, for one, angled brush. I highly recommend angled brush. This can go for regular walls too. Here's how you do a corner. Let the point of the brush go in the corner like that. That is the most important part. Then push it out with the point. Let the point do all the work. Carefully, don't be in a rush. Push it off to the left, and now you do. See, I have a scraggly little brush, but I know how to use it. It is nicer when you have a smooth brush. Push it off to the right. There it is. If you can see, that point on the angle brush is doing everything, and then you fill it in. Easy peasy. The most important part is just don't be in a rush. That's it. So here we go again. How much do I actually show you here? I'm not sure. Okay, I mean, this is a beautiful view. Do you know how hard this was to do single-handedly? And yeah, look it. That's that quick. And I can get a lot quicker when I'm not holding the camera because I've done it for so long. And on house painting and dollhouse painting, it's all the same technique. So a good brush. That is my highest recommendation. I have used one brush. No, I have had 2 brushes. I've painted my whole house with 2 brushes on the inside. Just take care of them and clean them. Then you feather it in, and later, of course, you're going to roll. So that was in real time. I did not speed that up. And I'm just obviously trying to be thorough. Oh, I'm showing you that when you do a second coat, you get the first coat good. When you come along and do the second coat, you actually don't touch it the way you did the first one and get it perfect. You go just a little teeny bit lower. So that's that. As well, some people, when they do masking, they push the paint in. Don't do that. Take your time and drag the paint. It takes a little longer and it's a little weirder, but as much as you press down on that masking tape, you'll still get spots that don't stick. You maybe get a little grit under it, a little sand. You just never know. So you kind of try, like doing your teeth, to start from the tape and move outward. Go left and right if you must, but don't push it in. You'll just, trust me, especially now when you have such a drastic color between black and white, touch-ups can be tough. Now, having rolled on the black paint quite thick, all the coats I needed, it's now time to pull off the masking tape. As you can see, it's still a little bit wet. That's the key. That's very wet. You don't want it soaking wet, but you don't want it dry. Because when it's dry, it makes a seal, and then you pull it, and then it peels off because it's not cured, just like a face mask. We don't want that to happen. See the nice angle? You pull it down. You see there's even a little bit there. It's got to be touched up. I can see that checking out my own work. This is the way you pull, and when it's a little bit wet, it hasn't dried and made that peel thing. When it's cured, you pull it, it'll rip, it'll make a mess. I'm sure you've seen it and done it. And I had one client who did it on their whole rooms, every one at the top, and said, how do we fix this? And I was like, oh, that was sad, because they didn't know how to do a cut line. And anyway, it was an easy job to just fix all their cut lines. So you can see that is really, really nice and crisp. Because it is a slightly damp, it pulls off beautifully. It's never perfect. I will say that. You can see it's a little bit. I will go back with a little artist brush and fix that up. Beautiful. This is the moment where I want to say to Alex, and he knows it. He's like, why did you pick this thing? You're just picking something to pick. And I was like, yeah, I'm done shopping, but come on, this is looking good. And he's seeing it finally now. So I'm now just letting things dry, and it's time for me to work in here with the shelf being in. And there's nothing pretty about yanking what I did out, but it's very rough, and I don't want to stick my hand in there and get splinters. It won't be perfect because it's just going to be a storage area, but who wants to take this chance? So now that I'm energized because things are looking good, I want to take the time and sand these rough areas to the best way I can to at least make it decent. And then once I fill that up with paint, it's going to be pretty smooth, and I got the least chance of hurting myself. I used so much sandpaper. That was a horrible, tedious job. Here we are now having an up and down as best I can show you, and I hope you can see what I can see. This thing is looking wow. I am stunned. Can you now, if I have these side by side with the other one, they look like matching pieces. This does not look anything like what it started to be. These are the things I see in my head, and I hope you can too. So now I've got that primer in there inside. That looks way better. I'm glad I did not, I always say I'm not going to do something because nobody's going to see it, and then I always do it, and I'm glad. I never regret that decision. Here in the finger pull areas for these doors, I've done like my full 3 coats of white. I might have even used a regular brighter satin white for crafting paint to get that, because now I got ideas for what I want to do in there and make it spiffy and make it look like that. I kind of had that inkling in my brain, but as I did it more and more, the piece just screamed out, yeah, we need a little more Art Deco going on here. My paint is, that's primer, so now I'm using my paint. The primer covers it pretty good. I got the shelf over here that I'm prepping so that when I flip it, it will be the floor of the second shelf, and that will be painted black. So that's getting ready. So now what do I need to do? I need to do lots and lots of painting, the crappiest part ever. And then I started doing this. Okay, wait. First I did in there. I got it painted in there. So that's drying, so that that now looks better. Can you remember what that used to look like and what that was? Yay, glad I seen beyond what it used to be and made it now awesome storage in real time, even more awesome than I thought. So this is just glitter paint. It doesn't have any color behind it. It's kind of a clear with glitter in it, and I just did tons and tons and tons of coats. I think in total, I wasn't even done here. I did about 5, and I used about 3 kinds of glitter. That's the one that you can see has the metallic base coat. I did not do this in here. I just let that clear happen that was in each different glitter paint and let the natural shine of the glitter. Come on, we know I need a little bling, 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 right? It's just not me if it isn't. Here, that's perfectly white painted, probably about 4 coats. I'm letting that dry, and I can use that. That's really done. Now I got my door handle, the beautiful gem of all gems, and I was going to let Alex do it, and I decided to do it myself because he was busy. I thought putting it in the middle was the best because that door, if you remember, didn't close well. I wanted to close well so I don't have dust, so I decided halfway would be the best. That is also when I do the hardware, I decided on that too. The inside looks great. I'm so glad I decided for that top portion to be black as well. It just looks more spiffy. Look at all those coats of glitters, and I did more after that. Now, at this point, those little blue marks, anything I might have missed or might have bumped, I do that to remind me to come back and touch up. Don't be afraid to do touch-ups. That's the best part. I didn't find that this was sharp enough on this particular side of that, and the Sharpie just worked. I made a line with the Sharpie, and then I put even more coats on top, even on top of the Sharpie. Then I did Mod Podge too in here. I'm not sure if I say that as a sealant, and that's looking really, really good. It's a little bit hard to open because I put new hardware on. I only did the one piece too. I thought that would be better. That really made it look fresh and new, which I like, and that's great. Here's my doorknob on, and then the hardware for this one, this didn't have it originally. Again, I thought, what's the best way for this to work? That's beautiful. So I put the hardware in the middle. So even where I pulled would be, I wouldn't put more stress on the door and make it weaker. So I've got the best I can do for making that door be dust free and lay flat, which is wonderful. I got some trim. Decided to do some trim later. What do we got? Oh, I got those from the secondhand store. Those are Bed Bath & Beyond containers, $5 each. I'll have them in there, and I can figure out my piece later, but I thought there's going to be things to put somewhere. So I've got my math done, and I know where I want my shelves that's best going to be for that. Now I want to put some trim. This is, again, what I meant about the decor. I just don't want it to be the typical curio cabinet. I got that. I'm not against that. But this is just something I want the flavor of Jean to come through. It's like the other piece, the display unit was practice, and now I know exactly what I want. So I had a coupon from Joann's by text for half off, so I bought this beautiful trim. I have no glass in here yet. And just kind of meticulously put that in with some hot glue. It doesn't stick so well to the satin paint. I foresee I will have to touch it up later. Next was Alex doing the lights. Oh, he was busy. No, he wasn't. I just got too anxious. Totally stole your job. You took too long.
It's okay. No one's complaining from my end.
But I did it, and I'm really proud of myself.
I'm proud of you too.
Second way.
You did great. So let's see.
I used the first one.
What are you doing? Oh, there they are.
Put the light has the on and off motion detector. I don't have to plug in over here. Try that. Take those tapes off. And
hidden lights.
$40 lights.
For $50.
No. $9.99. You're always a bundle of joy, honey.
We liked them so much. We just paid more.
Oh, yes, that will be done. It's probably much better that I did this so I could fit in here.
Yeah, I know I wouldn't fit in there with my big head.
Okay.
Good job, babe. Way to be.
Wait.
Hold on. Ready?
Wait.
Here it is. Don't leave me hanging.
Oh. Okay, wait. Turn this one off. Ready? Oh, it's not plugged in. Sorry. It's not plugged in. Okay, the lights are now perfectly in. Cover your eyes, it's kind of bright, and I wanted to show it all to you in totality. That trim is so sparkly like a mirror, and I love that addition. You can see how slim they are. Look at that. That is so cool. These were meant to be under cupboards, by the way. And yeah, pretty. Just for informative purposes, I went back and got some ones. Oh wait, I'm gonna see, look at the motion detector. I fell in love with that option. So I went to the store. They did not have any more of these, but I found the puck version. It's kind of like 3 little lights, and I got those for the first unit. So that's lit up wonderfully too. You can see the tons and tons of glitter now compared from the beginning. Oh yes, I do show you that I put some Mod Podge on to seal it. Here's my touch-ups. I didn't want to put any varnish on there in case it got chipped off. It'd be easier to fix. That's why I used Mod Podge instead of. Yeah, that's my touch-up paint over there. Always meticulous on touch-ups, no matter what they are. It's worth the time to complete the job wonderfully and do it right. Oopsie. What am I showing you here? Oh, here's something different. I don't think I often show you my drawings and my little sketches. They're not perfect and they're kind of crude, but I am the note maker, and this all helps. So as an example, I do better when I write things down and draw pictures for myself. Even though I can see it really well, my lists are endless, and I can tuck them away until I need them. There's my receipt. So in total, this whole project, even with lights, cost just under $100. Wonderful. I mean, again, I couldn't make, like the first one, I could never make something so wonderful. I couldn't buy something so perfectly suited for my needs, as you can see. So my shelving worked out great, even to hold some boxes. And down here is some storage for whatever I'll grow into it, I'm sure. It didn't look like a lot of display area, but it's got a lot. I got my hot light on here, my warm light, and I'm baking that paint. And I did not put anything on there for about a good week. I really wanted that to cure. The heat from the lamp does help make it cure better, and I did want, those boxes would be sliding on there, so I didn't want that all scratched up. And that's what I was talking about, that shelf being black for the floor. Oh, look at that. See, like little mirrors. Oh, the reflections are just so pretty. I love my choices. The wires hide good. Then you're going to see my white chair, which I also found secondhand shopping, thrifting. Oh, I'm playing with the lights. You can dim them too. I'm not sure if I show you that. I got this white chair, which kind of, yeah, here I'm playing. Look at, that's like a little kid having so much fun with her new toys, lights for her toys. Look at that. Okay, am I done playing yet? I got the glass back on, that's a plus. Baking. Sadly, I did not know that this would cut the frame and not show it all. There's my chair, so I can pull up and literally play and dress the dolls right in that bottom part of the cabinet. That somehow gives me joy, because now this is going to be a very practical unit. Here it is, all cut off, so I did not take a very good video of this, but this is about the best for and after for now. I admit I'm not going to show you the whole thing with everything in it, because I want to give it time to get it wonderfully decorated without a rush, and I'm waiting for my anniversary present, so that'll be August. So please forgive me for not giving you the full end of this, but you are seeing the end of the project, and it's been worth the effort. This was a tough week. I hated every second of painting this. I love every second of how it's going to be and how much fun I'm going to have with this now. So totally worth the effort. Would you agree? Thank you, everybody. I love you, doll family. Hope this has been a joy for you as it is for me. And thanks for spending time with me, I mean. I need a nap.